Hi, everybody. I'm playing a little bit of catch up here because I know I have not posted as consistently as I need to. But I wanted to catch you guys up on what we've been up to over in Conscious Creators. Last month, we talked about shadow work. I need to get the rest of the videos uploaded for shadow work, which I will do. But this month, we are talking about different healing methods. This is a little different from shadow work methods, okay? This goes a little beyond that. So what we talked about this week was ancestral energy healing, okay? I want to make sure that I point out ancestral energy healing. It works for healing yourself, but this is focused on healing your ancestors, okay? When you heal your ancestors, I'm sure in plenty of you, the majority of you have probably heard the statement that when you do any ancestral healing work, when you heal yourself, and you heal your ancestral line, you heal 4 generations back, you heal 4 generations forward. I've heard people say 8 generations in either direction, whatever your belief system supports, okay? But what I know is that this works like a domino effect. So whatever it is that you do to heal yourself right now, you are healing those future generations, okay? And we'll talk about that in a moment. Ancestral work. In general, your ancestral work will encourage introspection, helps you to attain greater clarity, greater focus. Now, y'all know I point out all the time the basis in spiritual work is the foundational piece is meditation. That is because it teaches you focus, okay? So your ancestors are communicating with you. They are talking to you. They are giving you guidance and support and wisdom all of the time, but whether or not you're able to recognize those messages, decipher those messages, that's going to depend on your level of clarity, your level of focus, okay? So that's why meditation helps a whole lot. It's like training for your mind. It's training for your spirit. It's training for you to be able to focus in, hone in, and to gain that knowledge, that wisdom that you need to get. They're going to get what you send to them. The messages that you send to them, they can get those just fine. It's you needing to be able to bring that information in and process it. Okay, so whenever you are working with your ancestors and you're doing any healing work, you have the ability to heal, cure, get rid of intergenerational patterns of dysfunction, abuse, chaos, whatever. If you see me looking down, it's because I made notes, okay? So I'm going through them. Science has kind of proven that any kind of traumas that we suffer, that we deal with, it's stored in our DNA, okay? That means that it's passed down through the generations. You deal with things, we inherit things like emotional issues, unhealthy patterns, addictive tendencies, negative energetic patterns all the way around the board. We inherit the positive too, but we're talking about healing, so we're focused on those other things, okay? Ancestral energy healing releases you, it releases your ancestors, and it releases your descendants from these things. Now, this works hand in hand with your shadow work. You do need to do the work internally. You need to start there. Do your work. Pull up. Shadow work is pulling up those things that we try to hide from, those things that we kind of, shrink back from, don't want to deal with, sweep them under the rug, stick them in a corner, let them sit over there, and we figure, I don't have to worry about that. No. Your shadow work is pulling those things up. Let's deal with these things. It's getting rid of the elephant in the room. Let's deal with those things and get them out, okay? So that leads you to your own personal healing, okay? Sometimes, quite often, it will lead you to things that you don't really know where this came from. I've had some of my coaching clients come and say, hey, you know what? I have never had an experience in my life that should make me feel this way or should make me have this reaction to things. I don't know where this comes from. Okay, 9 times out of 10, it's something ancestral. It's something that was passed to you, that was taught to you, or something from your past life. One or the other, both of which, that can still be considered ancestral, okay? That when you start working on those, you have to do some healing from some different angles, different perspectives, different ways, right? So this is where the ancestral healing comes into play. A huge, huge part of this is that you need to connect to your ancestors. You need to venerate them, honor them, okay? Some ways that you can do that. And this is going to be a short part. I'm not going to go into great detail here. I will break this down into separate videos, okay? So if you have other questions, make sure you drop them in the comments so I can address them when I do those videos. But some of the ways that you can honor them, venerate them, remember them. Okay, remember them. It's so simple. But you see like the kids movie Coco. Man, they got a lot of that right. When you remember them, it gives them strength. It keeps them connected. It keeps them connected to this plane, to this realm. It keeps them connected more to your line. Likewise, when you are not remembering them, when nobody thinks of them, when nobody's talking about them, sharing any energy. It's the energy exchange there, okay? So when nobody is giving them any energy, they do kind of fade away. I mean, think about all of those ancestors whose names you don't know, okay? Somebody somewhere does. But you personally do not know them. Do they mean anything to you? Do you have anything to pull on and draw on from them? No. Okay, so it's not that they're not giving you any energy, but think about how much stronger that connection is when you know something about them. You actually have something that you can grab onto and focus on, right? You want to start building that, and you can recover some of those things that you don't know, but we'll talk about that later as well. So, remember them. Build an altar to them. An altar space is a huge one, and we are going to talk about that in a whole other video because that could be like an hour-long conversation all by itself. But give them an altar space, okay? Calling them for support, and not just calling on them for support. Trust them, okay? You have to honor them, give them gifts, give them offerings, things like that. Nobody likes a person that only shows up when they're like this, okay? But they do like to be needed. They do like to be utilized, okay? So call on them. But call on them and then trust them with whatever it is that you're asking them for. Do not call on them and be full of a lot of doubts and fears. That's an insult, okay? If somebody asks me for something, if you ask me for something, but you give me the impression that you're asking me, one, to test me, or if you're asking me and it's more like, I know you really can't do this, but I'm going to ask you anyway because I really should. You are not making me want to do anything for you. As a matter of fact, you're insulting me, and I'm going to tell you no. I'm going to tell you no, and I'm going to tell you not to come back. Don't come back and ask me for anything. Go find somebody that you trust to do that for you. Don't ask me, okay? That's me personal. Maybe some of them might rise to the task and pull you in, but I'm gonna tell you right now, my ancestors ain't about that life. You don't test them. If you don't trust them, don't worry about it. You better go find you somebody you can trust. Okay. All right. So there is that, and share their stories. Those that you know, pass it down. A lot of our history has come from things being passed by word of mouth. Talk to your children, share it with other family members, even sharing it with friends and other loved ones. Share with them your ancestor stories and pass them on. It recognizes them, it acknowledges them, it's giving them that energy, and everything is about energy in the spirit world, okay? You can burn ancestor money for them. You can write on your ancestor money, use it to repay karmic debts for them, to send them blessings, heap prosperity on them, heap positive energy, healing, protection, whatever it is you want to send to them. Use prosperity money, use ancestor money for that purpose. Again, this is something that is a whole other topic of conversation, and we will talk about that all by itself on another video, but using ancestor money really, really helps. If you just use it, it's the energy of it, okay? Do they use physical money like we use right here? No, it's not physical. But it's the same as when you're offering them food or when you're offering them water. It's the essence, it's the energy of it that they're using. So use that, utilize that. So many people have so many success stories. I have personal, like, awesome success stories from burning ancestor money. And I don't just mean success stories like what has manifested in my personal life, although there's been a lot of amazing manifestations, but I can feel, I energetically can really feel my ancestral line healing from the burning of ancestor money. Like, it feels different. You can feel it amplified. You feel it just, it's an amazing feeling. That's all I'm going to say. Try it. You'll see for yourself. Okay? But you can send them energy healing. And this was the basis of what this video is supposed to be about. Okay? As some of you may know, I am a Reiki practitioner. I am a Reiki master. I am also an instructor. Okay? And you can send Reiki energy to your ancestors. Can you send regular energy? Maybe you're not a practitioner of Reiki. You know, I am a practitioner with Usu and Mahakali Reiki. Maybe you're not a practitioner of Reiki and you just, you know, you like to send energy from your heart. Yes, you can do that. Do it, okay? The difference with things like Reiki and things like that is you're pulling on energy from a specific source. So, like with Usu Reiki, you are pulling, like, using those power symbols, and you're pulling the energy from those power symbols, and you're channeling it and using it for that purpose. That's the easiest way for me to explain it in like a short amount of time, right? For Mahakali Reiki, you are pulling it from the void, you know, in the dark mother, you know, for those purposes. When you are using quantum life energy, you are literally pulling the life force from the universe and using it for healing purposes. If you are just sending energy from your heart, it can still be highly effective, okay? And you use it for that purpose. Send it that way. You you can send energy healing however you want to do it, okay? But it helps. It helps you, it helps them. Now, here's the deal, back to where we started earlier. Whenever you heal something with your ancestors, okay, you're doing that work and you're healing it within yourself. That means that you just broke a pattern. You just, you know, affected the chain of reactions of events, okay? So you just healed a pattern. Say you know, you got rid of an addictive tendency. Maybe you healed something that, you know, it took away the feelings of anxiety. It took away the feelings of depression. Whatever it is that we do, especially if you have children, okay, the actions, the behaviors that you display, even if it's not something that your child themselves have physically dealt with, okay? If you have depressive tendencies, if you have anxiety a lot of the time, if you have addictive tendencies, okay, that may not innately be your child's nature to have those things, but guess what? They see all the time. Guess what? They're around and exposed to all the time. Guess what? Energy they are exposed to all the time. And kids mimic us, okay? The same goes for, you know, some of your other relatives and family members. Think about your own self and your own childhood. You probably have some fears, some thoughts, some beliefs, some patterns of behavior that you get it from your grandmother. Or my aunt used to do this all the time, and I find that I'm doing it now, okay? And it affects your thought processes. We know this, right? Even if we don't consciously think about it, we know this. So when you heal these things within yourself, you're healing the ancestors, okay? That's repairing those traumas that are stored in the DNA. It's repairing those things, but you're also healing things behavior-wise. So that can have an immediate effect. Things have relaxed. You're not depressed anymore. You don't have anxiety anymore. You turned away from these addictive tendencies, and now you're displaying a whole other type of behavior. You are operating from a different level of energy. Your frequency has gone up here, right? So you're operating from this higher place, okay? And that is filtering out. It's a domino effect. You're filtering. It's touching the kids. Those kids one day are going to grow up and they're going to have their own kids. It's going to affect those kids. and so on and so forth. It's also expanding outward around the people that you are currently involved with, your cousins, your aunts, your relationship. It's affecting all of those things, okay? Do you see why this is so important? It's not just about healing you, it's healing ancestrally, it's healing your future, your whole future lineage, okay? So I just wanted to talk about that for a minute because that is what we have been going over this week. If you are interested in getting in on all of the discussions and all of that going on, feel free to come over to Facebook and join us in Conscious Creators. We will be happy to have you. Um, like and subscribe to the page, to this channel. Share. That's always a great compliment. Share. And if you have questions, if you have a topic that you would like to see covered here, please put it in the comments and let me know. I am taking notes and I am going to be more diligent and consistent about getting these videos out. Thank you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day, night, morning, whatever it is in your time zone. With love. Ashe.